The emergency session of the Galactic Empire Council had been called in unprecedented haste. Supreme Chancellor Vextar's multiple eyes darted across the holographic display, showing the mysterious fleet that had appeared at the edge of the Kepler Nebula. The vessels were unlike anything in their databases, sleek, angular constructs that seemed to bend light around their hulls. "Whose Armada is that?" Chancellor Vextar's voice carried the weight of authority that had kept 1,000 worlds in line for 3 centuries. The assembled delegates from across the galaxy shifted uneasily in their biomechanical chairs. The Zephyrian ambassador's tentacles writhed nervously, while the crystalline Luxari representative's form flickered with anxious energy patterns. "We've run analysis on their technology signatures," reported Admiral Kexra, the Empire's highest military authority. "The energy readings are impossible. Their smallest vessels output more power than our dreadnoughts." On Earth's newest flagship, the UES Indomitable, Lieutenant Commander James Chen stood beside Captain Naz Malik on the bridge, watching the same holographic displays that showed the Empire's massive fleet formation. The irony wasn't lost on him. 6 months ago, humanity had been completely unaware that galactic civilization even existed. "Nervous?" Naz asked, her dark eyes reflecting the blue glow of the tactical displays. At 28, she was the youngest captain in Earth's hastily assembled space fleet, but her calm demeanor had earned respect from crews across a dozen vessels. James adjusted his uniform, a design that had been finalized only weeks earlier. "About first contact with a galactic empire that's been conquering worlds for centuries?" "Just a little." His dry humor had carried him through worse situations, though admittedly none involving alien armadas. The discovery of faster-than-light travel had been accidental, a byproduct of humanity's desperate attempts to solve the climate crisis. Dr. Sarah Way's experimental fusion reactor had torn a hole in space-time instead of just generating clean energy. Within months, humanity had reverse-engineered the phenomenon and built their first interstellar drives. What they found beyond their solar system was both wondrous and terrifying. The galaxy teemed with intelligent life, but it was dominated by an empire that viewed new species as either subjects or threats. Humanity's scout ships had observed the empire's expansion methods: surrender and accept subjugation, or face complete annihilation. "Captain," Communications Officer Torres called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the Empire fleet. They're demanding we identify ourselves and state our intentions." Naz exchanged a glance with James. They both knew this moment would define humanity's future among the stars. "Put them through, Torres." The main screen shimmered, revealing the imposing figure of Admiral Kexra. The alien's exoskeleton gleamed under artificial lighting, and its 4 arms gestured with practiced authority. "Unknown vessels, you have entered Empire space without authorization. Identify your origin and submit to inspection or face the consequences." Naz stepped forward, her voice steady and clear. "I am Captain Naz Malik of the United Earth Space Command. We represent humanity, and we come seeking dialogue." "Earth?" Admiral Kexra's mandibles clicked in what might have been confusion. "That designation is not in our records. What sector do you claim?" "Sol System, Orion Arm," James replied, consulting his star charts. "We're new to interstellar travel." A wave of what could only be described as laughter rippled through the Empire Bridge visible on their screen. Admiral Kexra's posture shifted to something resembling amusement. "A primitive species with a handful of crude vessels thinks to negotiate with the Empire? Your technology appears advanced, but you clearly don't understand the reality of galactic politics." Back on the Empire's command ship, Chancellor Vexatar was studying the scanning reports with growing unease. The human ships weren't just advanced, they were revolutionary. Their hulls incorporated materials that shouldn't exist. Their engines operated on principles that defied established physics, and their weapons signatures suggested destructive capabilities that rivaled the Empire's most devastating weapons. "Admiral," Vextar's communication reached Kexra privately, "exercise extreme caution. These humans may be more dangerous than they appear." But Admiral Kexra was convinced that overwhelming force would end this encounter quickly. "Human vessels, you will surrender immediately or..." The transmission was cut short as proximity alarms began wailing across the Empire fleet. The human ships had moved, not through normal space but by folding space-time around themselves. In an instant, they had repositioned into a perfect tactical formation that surrounded the much larger Empire Armada. "Impossible," Admiral Kexra whispered. On the Indomitable, Naz maintained her calm expression despite the magnitude of what they'd just accomplished. Humanity's mastery of space-folding technology had advanced rapidly, born from the same desperate innovation that had driven their species to the stars. "Admiral," Naz's voice carried across the void, "we didn't come here to fight, but we won't be conquered either. Humanity has faced extinction before, from wars, from climate change, from our own mistakes. We survived by adapting, by innovating, and by never giving up." James pulled up the technical specifications they'd prepared for this moment. "Our weapons aren't just advanced, Admiral. They're designed by a species that spent centuries finding new ways to destroy itself, then chose a different path. We know warfare because we've lived it, but we prefer peace because we've earned it." The demonstration that followed was subtle but unmistakable. Each human vessel briefly powered up its main weapons, not enough to fire, but enough to show the Empire scanners exactly what they were capable of. The energy readings were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Focused antimatter beams, quantum disruption fields, and something the Empire's computers simply labeled as unknown. Chancellor Vextar's multiple hearts were racing as reports flooded in from across the fleet. These humans weren't just technologically superior. They were strategically brilliant, having achieved perfect tactical positioning while maintaining a diplomatic stance. "Admiral Kexra," the Chancellor's voice carried new respect, "perhaps we should reconsider our approach to these humans." Captain Naz Malik smiled for the first time since the encounter began. "We're willing to talk, Chancellor. Humanity has much to learn from galactic civilization, and perhaps something to teach as well." As the two fleets held position among the stars, a new chapter in galactic history was beginning. The Empire had asked whose Armada that was, and the answer would echo across the galaxy for generations: Earth's. And Earth was ready to take its place among the stars, not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals who had earned their position, through ingenuity, determination, and the uniquely human refusal to surrender in the face of impossible odds. The age of humanity among the stars had begun.